Hi everyone, Spider-Man 1991 here. Sorry for the late review, but I've been pretty busy with Christmas this week and New Year's coming up. But I found, I'm here. I'm here to review the comics that came out this week. Luckily, there was only a short number, four, thankfully. So let's get into it. So I'm going to start off with probably the most popular, the most talked about comic of this week, and it is a series that I am very sad to see end, but it is Amazing Spider-Man number 700. I'm not going to mention anything that happened, any actual thing in the book. I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't read it yet. Also, if you have read it, please do not put any spoilers in the comments because, it's been about 2 days since the comic was released, and I'm pretty sure every news media outlet has spoiled it already, but I don't want to spoil it for anyone who pretty much waits and hears what people think about it, who checks out reviews before actually buying it. So I don't want to spoil anything. All I can say is that the ending of this, it's kind of a shocker, but it is kind of expected about what happens, and it does really lead into what's going to happen into Superior Spider-Man, and tells you pretty much directly who it's going to be. Um, but as far as the actual issue itself, I'm honestly torn with the ending of it. Okay, honestly, the ending with the reveal about who the Superior Spider-Man is, I'm just kind of torn. On one part, I'm like, this is good storytelling, but the other part of me, the diehard Spider-Man fans, like, oh man, this is terrible. This is gonna fail instantly. Like very conflicted right here. Probably my favorite part of the issue, though, is this part I can talk about because because people have seen it in like the preview pages, but it's when Peter Parker is in Doctor Octopus's dying body, and when his heart stops for a moment, he's kind of like in this sort of afterlife, and he sees like all his friends and family who've passed on, who were pretty much big roles in his career as Spider-Man, like Captain George Stacy, the Rhino, Silver Sable, Gwen Stacy, and Uncle Ben. And Peter's parents. They all make appearances in that, and it is a very beautiful scene, very well crafted. Especially the dialogue between Peter and Uncle Ben. That was probably one of the most brilliant writing in this entire issue, and I did kind of get choked up at the ending too. I'll say that too. I did get choked up at the ending too. Kind of choked up at the ending too. But as far as buying this issue, I'd say only if you're a diehard Spider-Man fan, because this is $8. All right, this issue is $8, and I do remember when they had last year when they released Fantastic Four number 600 or 500, Fantastic Four 600, and it was $8. I said, don't bother getting it. But this, I would say, if you love Spider-Man, you should get this. If you're going, it's the last issue of Amazing Spider-Man, so I would say just get it for nostalgia, pretty much for, if you're not going to check out the story, then at least get it for some sort of nostalgia reasons. But other than that, the ending, I am very conflicted about this. I'm still going to check out Superior Spider-Man because, I don't know, this seems like Dan Slott is going to build for something with this, like maybe turn it around or reverse the decision, but I really hope this eventually does pay off, because if not, this could either lead to something great or something way worse, probably even worse than the marriage retcon. Okay, that's what I'm saying right now. That's what the ending left me with. And the other Marvel book I read is Avenging Spider-Man 15.1, which I can't really talk about again because it spoils what happens in 700. So I'd say if you got this and you're gonna get Superior Spider-Man, then you should probably get this because it serves as kind of a connecting part to what happens to pretty much the conclusion of Amazing Spider-Man and what's going to happen at the beginning of Superior Spider-Man. That's the only reason to get 15.1. the reason I'm not talking about the plot is I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't read it, and maybe in a week or so I'll do another video where I can fully talk about the plot and everything, just to, give like a just to give you like a full review. All right, but moving right along to DC. DC pretty much did another good idea. Also, only released 2 comics this week, and it was actually a good idea because it's 2 parts to a crossover. Part 1 takes place in Justice League number 15. And this begins the story arc known as the Throne of Atlantis. Okay, pretty much. Now I can't talk about what happens in this story. A battleship in the middle of the ocean is suddenly hacked into, and it fires missiles on into the ocean, and the missiles detonate right when they hit Atlantis. So, Atlantis thinks they're under attack, and in retaliation, they launch 3 tidal wave attacks on the cities of Boston, Metropolis, and Gotham City. Now, pretty much the whole tidal waves happen. Pretty much the tidal waves happen in that order. I mean, right when we know about them, Aquaman shows up in Gotham to warn Batman, like, hey, Atlantis is getting ready to attack, and Gotham's on. And Aquaman shows up right when the wave hits Gotham. But a few hours before that, Superman and Wonder Woman are on a date in a restaurant in Metropolis in civilian identity, and suddenly the tidal wave hits Metropolis. So pretty much, okay, yeah, I think I just kind of retconned the events out of order. Pretty much it goes, after the attack, Aquaman goes to talk to Batman, but while Aquaman and Batman are talking, the wave hits Metropolis. Then, right when Aquaman's done talking, the 3rd wave hits Gotham. So, that's pretty much what happens in Justice League. What happens in Aquaman 15 pretty much picks up right where that left off, with pretty much Batman, Aquaman, and also Aquaman was joined by his wife Mara, saving civilians in Gotham City, and then Batman tries to get Aquaman to talk about his time in Atlantis and what the hell's going on. And also, Aquaman points out that the reason he knows Atlantis is attacking is because he wrote these war plans back when he was king. And the reason why Aquaman did this is because he tried hard. When he found Atlantis, the people did accept him, and his brother did step down from the throne, but Arthur really had a hard time trying to be the type of king they deserved. And he pretty much stopped being king right after the first Justice League mission, which was the attack against Darkseid. So, and while Batman and Aquaman are having this conversation, Cyborg the Batplane gets attacked, and apparently it was done by Atlanteans because Aquaman said that he did compile a list of people on the surface world who would have been a threat to them. And he had and even though they hadn't officially met, he did have Batman on that list, as well as his sort of friend, ally, or former ally, Dr. Shin from, the last few story arcs. And also Batman and Cyborg get contacted. Batman and Aquaman get contacted by Cyborg, and Cyborg says that Superman and Wonder Woman have found Aquaman's friend Vulko from the attack on Metropolis. And so they pretty much go back to the Watchtower, and the League, and after talking with Vulko, the League starts thinking that, they need to plan some sort of attack against Atlantis. But Aquaman says no, he'll try to handle it. He'll talk to his brother, Orm, a.k.a. Ocean Master, a.k.a. current king of Atlantis, and to convince him that, the attack was a mistake, that the humans don't really want a war. And so, pretty much, Orm emerges on the shore of Boston. Aquaman goes to talk to him, but after a few minutes, where the conversation does start to take an ugly turn, the League shows up saying that, okay, that's it, we gave you your chance, now we're bringing your brother in. But Aquaman's like, no, I won't let you, and he pretty much holds the trident in a threatening position to Batman. And that's where the issue ends. Okay, well, I have to say, I'm very interested in Throne of Atlantis. It's off to a good start. It really is. It addresses pretty much... It's a good crossover for both the Justice League and Aquaman, because it deals with 2 issues of both series. For Aquaman, it's what he did during his time in Atlantis and when he was albeit temporarily, their king. And for the Justice League, it addresses an issue that they kind of have been struggling with, which is the fact that everyone's sort of keeping their own little secrets away from the League, which was addressed in the last story arc with Daniel Graves. So, I'd say Thrones of Atlantis. I mean, if you're enjoying Aquaman, and if you are interested in, if you're enjoying Aquaman, you should definitely get this story arc. I mean, even if you're not reading Aquaman and you want to swing but the only caveat with that is that Aquaman's only $2.99, but Justice League is $3.99. So, if you are an Aquaman fan, if you've been enjoying Aquaman, then I would recommend the story arc, but only if you want to pay the extra extra $8 for Justice League, because there's this issue which is $4 and the next one which will be another $4, because I think, if I recall, they're going to conclude everything. The story arc will basically be issues 15 and 16 of Justice League and Aquaman, then the final part will be in Aquaman number 17. So, if you want to pay extra for the other Justice League books, if you're already getting Aquaman, then yeah, I'd say go for it. But if you don't, then I'd say you'd be missing out, because you do need Justice League and Aquaman in order to get the full crossover. But back to my opinion, Thrones of Atlantis, it seems to be the makings of a great story arc here. I can't wait to read the rest of it. I want to know what's going to happen after this, whether or not Aquaman... I kind of doubt Aquaman would stay in Atlantis, also I'm eager to know who the person is who's trying to start this war between the surface world and Atlantis, because they've been taking because not only did they launch the missiles to stage an attack, but they also released the trench again, which we saw back in the last issue of Aquaman. So, we don't know who this person is, and it's and I don't think it's Orm, because Orm did state to Aquaman he had no knowledge, but he could have been, as far as we know, he could have been lying. So we're not entirely sure yet. But yeah, I look forward to the rest of this, and if you are enjoying Aquaman, I would highly recommend it. As far as whether or not... but Justice League, but if you're a fan of Justice League, I would say you should get this in order to get the full crossover. I mean, still you should get both books. If you feel like paying extra, then yeah, you can get these. If not, then just don't bother getting the other ones, because you'll be confused. Okay? Alright, wrap up. Justice League 15 and Aquaman 15. The first half of Thrones of Atlantis seems like a pretty great, awesome crossover so far. Can't wait to read the rest of it. Wonder which side Aquaman's going to choose. And Amazing Spider-Man 700 and Avenging Spider-Man 15.1. I am very torn. I'm still very, very conflicted about whether or not the Superior Spider-Man will be a good thing or not. I mean, I have trust in Dan Slott for what he's doing. He's impressed me so far throughout his entire run on Amazing Spider-Man, so I don't think this could go in the wrong hands, but it does seem like this is going to be a big gamble, and I hope it pays off. If not, then I have a feeling I will definitely be not reading Spider-Man for a while after that, if it doesn't pay off. Okay, that's it for my review. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I should probably have a Christmas haul video in a few days, because I ordered some stuff that I wanted to show off, but I did kind of make a preview to it. I'll put the link in the video somewhere in an annotation. But thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Spider-Man 1991 saying, see you later.